That's what made me mad. It's like, dude, really, Marvin Gaye? You don't have
Well, it
enough
wasn't
money,
even-
bro.
It wasn't even Marvin Gaye. It was like someone from his estate.
I don't even care. We don't have enough money. Your little estate doesn't have enough money. You're already solidified as Marvin Gaye. Let's get it on, right?
Well, that's what the argument came down to. Is like you can't own chords.
I don't even care about that. I don't care if he totally ripped you off. He is our Marvin Gaye, okay? Respectfully.
I like his music, dude.
Ed Sheeran is the man, okay? So back off, dude. Honestly, I want to cancel you now, and I'm not even into canceling. I want to cancel.
Here's my
Marvin
thing
Gaye.
too. Here's my thing. When people are like, "Oh, he sounds just like Marvin Gaye," it's like he probably liked Marvin Gaye, dude. It's like when people would come up to us at the bow tie shows and they would say, "You guys sound a lot like Thrice. You ever heard of them?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, they're my favorite band." No, duh, I sound like them.
But nobody else can have a spotlight ever. You gotta get every last inch out.
You know, dude, it's like we were saying it on the podcast. You were saying something like you got like 7 years and then like it's free domain or public domain, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's public domain. It's like, dude, you've had enough. I don't understand that. It's like, why do you have to? Now, Ed Sheeran's not poor either, but I'm just saying, like, everybody likes his music. And if they don't see the fact that he also got it from Marvin Gaye, then that's your problem for not being relevant now.
Dude, yeah. Well,
right?
He's making...
If you were so good, if you were so recognizable, then people would go, oh, yeah, he ripped that off of Marvin Gaye. But,
yeah, exactly.
But nobody's saying that, okay? Because
he's writing good music, and you're not in the limelight anymore, bro.
Yeah.
It's Ed Sheeran time, and that fool should get paid. I don't care if he has lots of money already. He has lots of money because he made good
talk
music.
To James Brown. Do some little footwork or whatever. You know what I mean? Go wear a purple suit and do some thing.
100%, dude. Like, whatever, dude. He makes good music. I think he deserves to be a millionaire.
Yeah,
just saying.
Yeah, it's just the whole, and even like the whole Mint Mobile thing. Like, I'm thinking about getting a new mobile service because like deals on phones and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I definitely don't want Mint Mobile because if I hear about you now, I'll never hear the end of you when I give you 50, 60, 70 bucks a month for my phone, right? So I definitely don't want to hear you now. And now Marvin Gaye, like, I definitely don't want to turn you on now. Okay?
Now
I definitely don't want to listen to your
I'm
music
going to reverse
now.
listen to Marvin Gaye.
Why? Because you bitch too much. Okay?
Well, dude, that's the whole thing. I remember...
He went up to Ed Sheeran and was like, I'm synonymous with sexy time, not you. And it's like...
Well, and this is kind of unfair to Marvin Gaye, but a lot of the times I remember when I've been in other writing instances with other people, we should copyright this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, first of all, no one's going to steal this from us. Nobody cares who we are. The music is not that good. It might be pretty good. It's not Ed Sheeran good, okay? Second of all, go ahead and steal it. I'll write another one, and it'll be better than that one.
Exactly.
Which is not fair to Marvin Gaye because he's kind of in the ground. So
I mean, the music scene. A lot of people don't write their own music anyway. You know, a lot of people.
It depends, but yeah, I know what you mean. Well, dude, it was kind of eye-opening to find out even the bands that we listen to who basically do write their own music, you guys still have a producer who's still saying yes, no, and maybe not literally like, no, you can't play this part, but giving suggestion, giving feedback, saying, hey, maybe try it a different way. Like, you're not literally writing it by yourself. You have somebody in there who's got their, like, an outside perspective to help you push the music further. So, to a certain degree, like, bands like Thrice, like, yeah, you're writing it all by yourself, but you still have a producer giving that outside perspective.
Speaking of queens and princesses and
Beautiful segue.
Yeah,
Hit it, bro. Hit it.
The Ariel, right?
Yeah.
So I don't care about the black-white thing. What I do
Nobody
care
on the
about
right
is that
does.
Ariel's a spoiled bitch. Okay? In her own music, in her own song, she said, I've got everything. I want more. So she's got other problems besides being black or white or whatever, you know.
Did you see Matt Walsh's thing?
No, I didn't.
He was basically saying, like, well, she's a deep sea creature, so technically she
Oh,
should
yeah,
be translucent.
Yeah. Here's my real take, dude. Here's my real take, honestly, on a serious note.
Okay.
The story of The Little Mermaid is, from what I understand, written by a white person, all this white culture stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you're basically getting a black person to perpetuate white culture. So you're actually not doing a service to minorities by being like, well, let's give them rules, because you're still perpetuating a white narrative and a white culture, right? So I'm making that argument for them. Like, why don't you tell a story that's like from an African myth, so that you're doing like a black story with black people. But what you're doing instead is you're being like, we want to keep telling these white stories because the white stories are the good ones, but we want to use black characters. So it's still white. You know what I'm saying? It's still.
Yeah, there was another person who, like, I had just caught on to that. I was like, yeah, it's not about the fact that they made it black. It's the fact that you're still. Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. I don't gotta say anything else on it, but
yeah, everybody knows. Like, everybody knows you're just like, okay, yeah, you're just using black characters, but it's still like the white people story.
Well, and that's what, like, people on our side have always been saying, like, dude, like, make a new character, like, make something that makes more sense and tells a better story for that community or whatever you're trying to go for.
Are you telling me, and like, in all the people and all the histories of Africa and all like the myths and everything, you can't find one thing to be like, yeah, let's make this. This is cool. Let's make this.
Yeah,
because we have all the white people ones. We know all the Jotuns and the Thors, and we know all like the Greeks, and we know all like the arguably Egyptians and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We know all that, and it's all been like whitewashed too, like Ghost in the Shell, using Scarlett Johansson or whatever. Right? Using a white person, and like I would have enjoyed that movie more if she was Asian, because her brother's Asian, and it doesn't make sense. It like that part, the ending. I'm like, so you guys are brother and sister, and I'm just gonna ignore that you guys are a different race, though. And then people obviously like the mythical sea creatures, and you can't look past a race. I've been over this 1,000 times. Yet no, I can't, because it's called the fourth wall. Okay, you're giving me all these fantastic stories and everything, cool. But if you're just telling me, oh, also she can fly. Well, how can she fly? She's a mermaid. Oh, you can't just pretend she can fly? You can pretend she's a mermaid, but you can't pretend she can fly? Yeah. No, I can't, because that's the whole point. In the fantasy, and every fantasy, there's rules. How fun is your fantasy if you're just like, I'm all powerful, can do everything, and everyone loves me, and I can just kill everybody, and I'm God.
Yeah,
that's not fun. There's no conflict. There's no denouement. There's no like coming of age or story or anything to tell. There's just like, yeah, I do everything. I'm all powerful. I flick my wrist and everything I want is mine.
It was like the new Pinocchio, dude.
The best fantasies, even the searching yourself, your own little like daydreams and fantasies are like the ones that you're like, I can see myself doing that. Because otherwise it lasts like 5 seconds and you're like, yeah, that's not me. I'm the king of England.
Yeah, I'm just going to OP and like, okay, fantasy over. But did you see the new Pinocchio? Hear anything about the new Pinocchio?
Pinocchio?
Pellegrino?
I don't know.
It was garbage, dude. I mean, it was cute. Like,
I heard it did bad. Yeah.
Look, dude, it was bad because instead of learning, having some kind of character arc where he learns that lying is bad, and he needs like develops a conscience and learns how to be good and whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, he's just good the whole time. He is just already good. He already knows how to do good. He never wanted to do bad things. In the movie, he has an opportunity to like, do bad things with the bad kids, and he just doesn't because oh, that's so, and it's like, yeah,
let's do this. How about this remake? Okay.
Pinocchio
remake, horror story. Here we go.
It always comes back to the horror stories with you.
So cold opening, there's screaming, there's something. No, please. It's in the camera's slowly going down the hallway, and you're just saying no. It's slowly going down the hallway. There's one light on in the hallway. The hallway's dark, so you can just see the light at the end. And then the camera turns into the room, and he's breaking apart Pinocchio while he's wood. And then he's like, and now for the tricky part. Turns over and flips a lever, and he turns into a boy when he's already broken. So
that's jacked, bro. Yeah, that's some Rob Zombie type.
And so that's how it opens. And then so Pinocchio's not really in the story. What it is Geppetto. He found a way to turn people into puppets to replace Pinocchio, right? So he kidnaps people and turns them into puppets, and they're like actually alive, but they can't do anything, and he puppets with them, and he's like giving on the best puppet shows or whatever, and like making all this money and stuff, and it's like, and that's as far as I got for now. But basically, like, it's kind of like House of Wax, where like they kidnap live people and cut all their tendons so they can't move, and then puts them in a chair and covers them with wax. So it's like a real live wax.
That would be
thing.
something my wife. She likes the horror movies.
Yeah.
And so I think she'd be into that, dude.
So like they're real puppets, and then like this group of intrepid young teens comes into the local. Right, they visited. They're on a summer trip, like hot girl summer to
classic horror movie start.
Italy, right? And you can put some blacks, some Asians, whatever, you know. And
diverse it up, bro. Put whoever you want in there.
And the black chick, she's like really into theater, and they went to this like abandoned opera house where Geppetto lives, and they're like, she's like, look at the detail on this puppet. Where did you get these? Like, oh, that's very rare. Don't touch, very rare. And it's like the first one he ever did, which is Pinocchio, his own son. Like he turned him into a puppet. That is the first one he did, right? So like
dude, that's actually
the backstory is Geppetto is actually turning other people into puppets in order to figure out how to turn them back into humans, because every time he does, they kill me. You know, they're all messed
kind
up.
of like Full Metal Alchemist when he turns them
like,
into chimeras.
You know, like because we turn them back and like they're like half wood and stuff, or just messed up.
Yeah.
So he's like experimenting on people, and like he captures the first girl, and he's like, I'm sorry this has to happen, but I need my son back. You know, like he's like reluctantly doing it. He's not just evil. He's like reluctantly, I don't know. That would be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some tweaks you got to do in there, but yeah, dude, that'd make it for a great horror story.
How about that instead of, oh, there's another thing, like, and then like you remix like, when you wish upon a star. So it's like a music box that's in slowed down, so it's like it's like breaking.
But it's also out of tune
played
too.
backwards.
Well, it's got to be out of tune too, right? Just like the pianos that are out of tune.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So like that song is the song that like mesmerizes people, and they're like, what is that? I feel weird. Like that's the song that like morphs them.
Yeah.
Because she found it in this like demonic puzzle box or whatever.
It's a cursed music box. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
All right.
So So the goal is he found the music box. His son got the music box and turned it into a puppet.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
That's what it is.
He didn't turn
His son
there
you go.
stumbled upon it. He found it in the opera house and he put it down, and the kid got into it on accident. So
There
he
you
feels
go.
responsible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now he's turning people into puppets to turn them back out of puppets because he doesn't want to do the final test on his son because he doesn't want him to die. And everyone's like, "Roar," when they come back to human form. Yes. That's a movie right there. There you go.
Or they come back to life and all their limbs are broken and they have to be
Puppeteered. For
minarets
lack
or
of a better
whatever. Yeah. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, Disney, you gotta stop making all these remakes and get on this horror train, dude.
That's
the other one,
thing, these remakes and stuff.
dude, they're not good and they're not necessary. Like the Lion King, bro. I didn't need a live. Have you seen the animated one, people? It holds up. It holds up. It's still beautiful. It holds up.
Is Nala a princess? She's a queen eventually.
I don't think she's anything until...
Honestly, dude, the Lion King is about a young, spoiled prince who shirks his responsibility to hang out with two homosexuals in the jungle. So
that's the character arc.
I mean, technically it's Hamlet. Again, a white person's story. But I'm just saying. It's right. Hamlet is the same thing. Like the prince goes into exile. His uncle usurped the throne. He has to go back and...
Stop being a douchebag.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically.
Aladdin, the star-crossed lovers, Romeo and Juliet. Same thing.
Aladdin's a good movie, though.
Dude, Aladdin's the best movie. That's the best one. Because it's the princess who's like, I just want character. I don't care if he's rich or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And she's strong. She's a strong woman. Right? She, like, participates in the battle without losing her femininity. Right?
There's a way to
she
do it,
doesn't pick up a sword and go, I'll handle this. That's the thing, dude. Like, you can... When you make a strong woman, don't make her into a man. Because that's not making a strong woman. That's making a man.
Yeah, dude. You talking about Captain Marvel? Is that what you're talking about?
That's one of them.
Indeed. Well, they always talk about strong female characters. I'm like, dude, you've had those throughout the decades. You just ignore them.
Sigourney Weaver.
That's the first person I thought of, dude.
Yeah, that's one. That's a badass name too, Ripley, dude. That's cool.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
That I like.
Fighting aliens.
That whole
shit?
series is dope.
Pardon my French.
But dude, I saw Rings of Power. Actually, pretty good.
I haven't seen it.
Even though it kind of bastardizes the appendices, it is pretty good.
What is the premises of Ring of Power?
The premise is the rings of power have not been created, and
Hold on. So it's a prequel.
it's a prequel for
Okay,
sure.
go ahead.
It's right after the first age.
Okay.
So like they just beat Sauron, and it's like 200-300 years have passed, and Lady Galadriel is like, he's still around. I'm hunting him. He's still around. We haven't eradicated him, and so like Numenor's still around, and Numenor. Nyam, nyam, nyam. Sorry, I'm nerding out a little bit, but it's good. It's good.
All right, fair enough.
It's enjoyable to me. Although again, and honestly, like the characters, like the races of the characters don't bother me and don't detract from the story. They just don't. Like all the hype about like elves aren't black. Da, 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 da. It's like it doesn't matter to me.
Dude, you know what? Like an example of that was Heimdall in Thor.
I have said that 1,000 times. Idris Elba playing Heimdall didn't bother me at all because he's super good at acting and they don't throw it in your face and it's just like, yeah, he was whatever.
He was badass with what he was, dude.
It doesn't all need to be perfect. So that lends credence to the real rub is like the acting in Rings of Power is good and the writing is good too. Their dialogue is super good. The best example was the black elf guy. The black elf guy. His love scene with the girl is perfect because it's like there's like this weird chemistry between them where they want to, but they haven't. So it's not like they like, hey, want to go to the bushes again? It's like they have this like desire for each other, but something holds them back, and it's implied that they haven't even embraced or anything. They just know they like each other.
Right.
So it's like this cool thing that hasn't been breached yet. If they were already lovers and stuff, and they're just like, well, how do we make this work? And it's just kind of like, it's kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Because it's like a soda can that's already been popped. It's like, yeah, you got half a cup left. Just might as well just chug it. That's fine.
No, it's a breath of fresh air to have an interaction like that.
It is. It was good because it wasn't the focal point. It's like this isn't these characters' main motivator. The main motivator is good versus evil, like higher purposes, not just like, I want to feel good and be happy.
Yeah, I want to go smash, and then we'll worry about this Sauron guy.
Yeah. But did I get it in halfway through? Yeah, exactly. There's
I
like
can't beat this bad guy yet because we haven't done our deed yet.
They all have higher purposes, and there is no focus on the lowest form of fulfillment, which is physical. So.
Right. Yeah.
So it's good, very good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there's still some good television out
Even
there.
even the black dwarf chick is good. Her acting's good. The writing is good. They didn't make her. They did this weird thing where they put her in the front of the poster like she's like this big dominating character, but she's not. She's a really good queen. She's supposed to be like the queen, the next in line queen elf with Durin's wife, and like it's really good. So. And she doesn't like. Okay, this goes to my point before. She doesn't talk ethnic. Like I said, it's a white people story, and they make her say white stuff.
Right.
And it's like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, it's a white people story. Like, just like Ariel's a white people story. Just like Hamlet's a white people story. It's like I want to hear black people stories. I want to hear Asian people stories. They're good. A lot of times I watch anime. I'm like, dude, this is a Japanese person story myth about yokai and like haunted this and that, and like this is a lot of times it requires like cultural understanding. Like why do they?
Yeah, exactly.
Why does a ghost linger? Because it's different than why a white ghost would linger, and it's not really haunting you in the same way. Like a white person ghost like haunts the house, like a poltergeist,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Japanese one would be like a lingering spirit that like can't let go, but that also is like the longer they linger, the more they turn evil, kind of thing. So it's like a sad tragedy kind of thing.
Yeah, not
So it's not the
necessarily
same.
evil.
Yeah, so I want to hear those stories. Tell them. Instead of telling white people stories, just putting a bunch of,
Dude, that's what I don't get either is a lot of the times you hear like there's nothing left to make, right? They're just remaking everything. I'm like, dude, there's a bunch of stuff left to make. You're not going out and making it. Just like you said, there's a bunch of African stories, there's a bunch of probably European stories maybe, but Asian stories, Japanese stories, like, dude, I always tell people like, don't skip on the anime, dude. I know the medium is kind of weird, but if you look past the medium and looked at the story, a lot of good stuff in there, dude.